Implementation is our topic for Chapter 5, and we begin our discussion really taking a look at what are the components for the right type of implementation. So there's a managerial component here that we'll talk about, the quality aspect of what we do in order to take actionable steps to get our plan implemented, and then appreciative inquiry, which is a solutions-based thought process about how we even manage the implementation. So when we look at implementation from a management standpoint or the managing of our management plan, there's a couple of things that come into play. The process itself, understand how to apply the plan. And we talk more about process in the chapter on process and systems. The roles that are played. So what activities, resources, and assessments need to be made from a managerial standpoint. And then last but not least, the tracking. So what's the timeline, the financials, the personnel involved, as well as the goals involved in order to make sure that our implementation is managed effectively. And so this particular slide speaks a great deal to how we're able to take this leadership perspective in the management of our implementation. When we look at quality, one of the questions that comes up is, why do we consider quality when we're implementing? And so there are a number of reasons, as well as keeping employees involved, understanding and identifying what opportunities, staying focused, the analysis portion of what we do, the evaluation, the innovativeness, solutions development. These are all important perspectives from a quality standpoint. But I think what becomes more important from a quality standpoint in implementation is the benefits. So it's not so much what we do as to what the outcome is from what we've done. And so you have consistency when you're looking at quality implementation, completeness, conformity, less waste of time and money, clarity about the work, less ambiguity. There's less rework and fewer unusable deliverables, higher productivity, higher stakeholder satisfaction overall when we infuse quality into our implementation. So think of it this way. What if you didn't have quality when you were going to execute? Then you would not only get a sloppy execution, but from a business standpoint, probably less than desirable. That leads us to the third piece, which is appreciative inquiry. So what is appreciative inquiry about? And so these are solutions for today's busy workplace and how we can manage more effectively. How do we take our strengths and leverage those in order to help us become a stronger positioned organization? And what types of tools do we need? So appreciative inquiry really speaks to the search for the best in people, their organizations, and the world that surrounds them. So we're accentuating our strengths to create new possibilities. So we're not looking at our weaknesses to say we're going to improve our weaknesses. We're looking at our strengths, taking those skills and extrapolating them over to our weaknesses to make ourselves better. So in the past, we've really managed from a standpoint of problem solving, and this is especially true in the world of management and leadership. We've organized around what is broken, which limits our focus and then really puts us into this strategy of problem solving. Whereas with appreciative inquiry, the approach is to then organize around what is working. So what we talked about, the strength of what we're doing. And then it's opportunity focused, and really this is engaging and puts us in this strategy of designing and creating solutions versus problem solving. If I say the word problem, usually it has a negative connotation, whereas if I say the word solution, it really has a positive connotation. So there's actually an energy element here and a psychological element to the actual verbiage that we use. So what are some of the steps in working toward an appreciative inquiry environment? Well, one of them is to understand that what we focus on becomes our reality. And in our organization, something is working and we need to find out what that is. Take the best of what we've done that works, marry that and connect it to the past in order to create new possibilities for the future. And in doing so, we're learning to anticipate and describe a new reality. And that's really kind of the impetus for appreciative inquiry. So why is it important to have that mindset in today's managerial environment in our workplace? When we ask ourselves questions, it puts us in a position to be a positive influence with our teams. And then we want to be able to motivate our teams to this ideal performance state, bridging talents and skills to full ignition and sustainability over time. And then, in order to make better connections with those folks in our organization over time, we need to look at them as assets. In fact, our primary asset. People are your primary asset. So, therein lies another reason why this fits so well with management and management planning, is because we have to figure out how to manage effectively our primary aspect from an integrated perspective, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. And so the environment that we build will then foster continuous improvement and create positive cultures for us. So this appreciative approach is really at the core of who we are, how we interact with others, and most importantly, who we can become. And it becomes a great tool to manage your plans and your approach toward life, for that matter. So let's look at a few definitions that might be beneficial. Leadership being one of them, quality being another, and then, of course, appreciative inquiry being the last one. So, what did we learn from this? Well, in order to manage effectively, we're going to have to look at and consider our approach. And when we're looking to implement our management plan, the detail by which we look at our approach is even more important. So, are we taking a leadership role? Are we making sure it's done from a quality perspective? And are we looking for solutions versus problems in being able to position ourselves for success? So, here is your thought for the day. Once you accept the fact that you're not perfect, then you start to develop confidence.